Meghan was accused of a personality disorder. Will hell marriage be affected? Hello, friends. Welcome to the biggest news of the day about psychopath Meghan Markle on our Kate Middleton and the Queen News version 2 channel. So there's a recent discovery by observers of psychopathic Meghan Markle that has royal fans questioning the marriage between Harry and Meghan. So they use a series of bizarre expressions to emphasize that Meghan Markle really is a person with a personality disorder. And of course, this could negatively affect Harry's life in America. And apparently, at the root of this personality disorder is the unhappy marriage between Meghan's parents. According to an expert, both come from divorced families, and statistically, that means their marriage is vulnerable. However, the royal family is less of a broken family than Meghan's, so there might be some hope. The royals don't have a great recent track record in terms of divorces. However, since the time of Queen Victoria, the importance of family and family life became a serious part of royal tradition. Charles and Diana did have one of the most savage and public divorces ever, but Charles has still succeeded in forming a very close relationship with both of his sons. And really, William and Harry even went so far to welcome Camilla into the family. There are not many families that remain truly bonded after this sort of public performance of misery, by Charles and Diana, of course. But still, this royal family has managed to stay together. Meghan, on the other hand, has an array of estranged relatives. So apparently, her brother reached out to the palace asking for help. And Meghan herself replied, saying something like, "These are distant relations whom I have nothing to do with." I mean, that's her half brother, and Samantha is her half sister. I do not consider those to be distant relatives. I don't really think it matters if she didn't see them for a long time or if something painful happened between them in the past. Her father also encouraged her to invite her nieces and nephews to that wedding, but Meghan said no. And Meghan can say however much she wants that she considers herself to be biracial, but obviously she is using some kind of skin bleaching products. You can just tell. You can look at earlier photos of her and you can compare them to the current photos. So it's pretty clear that Meghan does want people to see her as more white than black. And actually, that kind of deception seems pretty typical from the many things that I've read about Meghan. She wanders around with that same fake smile on her face all the time. There is just something off about her. And this is actually a pretty common disposition that happens in somebody with a personality disorder. That smile appears to be stuck on their face because it's hiding their true feelings. If you watch Harry at that wedding, you can see him going through a whole range of emotions. You can tell by his face that sometimes he's pretty anxious and other times he looks really sad, and then sometimes he looks like a man who really is in love and who's very happy. So people try to say, "Oh, but Meghan looked so poised at the wedding." No, friends, she was not poised. She was just detached from the whole thing because she is unable to bond with other people. She was just there because the cameras were there, and she knew that wedding was going to make her a lot more famous than her wildest dreams. You see, there was no way that Meghan fully appreciated the marriage because her belief is that marriages can never have a happy ending. She suffered through a broken marriage with Trevor Engelson, and so did her parents. Someone with a personality disorder like Meghan would assume that no one can get satisfaction in marriage. So at some point, the two sides are forced to let go because their purpose of life simply doesn't match. And according to experts, Harry and Meghan's marriage is not going to last much longer. Apparently, they are now in the final stages of this miserable marriage, and they're doing whatever they can just to hold on to it, but it's probably still going to fail. So the experts said, "I think that when the infatuated period is over, Meghan will dump Harry and go back to the USA, where she would then know that she would be considered an A-grade sought actress, not because of her acting ability, but because of her past with Harry." She's already used Harry to boost her desperate need for fame when she did that Vanity Fair article and allowed the magazine to include Prince Harry's name on the cover. I mean, the monarchy goes back more than 1,000 years, and in spite of its modern changes, it's still a really traditional family. The Queen's main function is to act as the head of the Church of England. So that means that her family also shares in this responsibility. And the other equally important function of the royal family is to serve the people of the UK and Northern Ireland. Meghan Markle doesn't have any connection with these said functions, and why would she? After all, Meghan is a free thinking, outspoken, modern California feminist. Now, considering the above mentioned functions of the monarchy, Meghan has already shown that she cannot understand or respect what the royal family really stands for. Before she got married to Harry, she did a front page article for Vanity Fair magazine. Now, that's a very prestigious magazine for an actress. It normally is only going to put some A-listers on there or supermodels on the cover. The only reason they chose Meghan to do that article was that she was an actress who was involved with a prince. In fact, the heading was Wild About Harry. And like all Vanity Fair front page women, Meghan got to look tastefully sexy and stunning in a range of shots from some of the world's very best glamour photographers. If you're an actress, it gives you a lot of clout to be on the front cover of that magazine. And I think Meghan enabled a rumor to circulate at Vanity Fair regarding her involvement with Prince Harry. If she didn't do that, I'm sure that magazine would never have been interested in her. They're not about to feature articles on women who are starring, not even starring actually, but who are just on cable TV shows. See, right then and there, Harry should have seen that as a red flag and dumped her. She didn't have any right to talk about her relationship with him on such a public and glossy platform. See, being a royal, in fact, is very hard work. Each of them has a tight schedule at the very beginning of each day, and they have to stick to the schedule. Now, of course, schedules of TV actresses are also very long, so maybe in the beginning she was up to the demands of the schedule. I mean, being a major character on TV is pretty difficult by anyone's standards. Very long hours. They're required to be in makeup at about 5 a.m., and then they have to film for the whole day. And then they've got to go home and they've got to rehearse those lines. And then on top of that, they're often given what are called amendments. That means changes to the script, and they don't get those until the morning of filming. So, of course, that's very stressful because they have to relearn the lines that they already learned. But in spite of the obvious fact that Meghan is used to grueling schedules, otherwise she couldn't have lasted as long as she did on Suits. If they think somebody can't handle the demands of the jobs, then they will write out that character immediately. But anyway, she didn't realize that the royal schedule is quite a different kind of schedule. The schedule of a working royal would involve a mixture of roles, and a big part of the work is going to involve walking down the street in a given city or town, shaking hands with the general public. Thrilling, I know. But anyway, the schedule is also going to be bound to include royal engagements and going to dinners with dignitaries from various parts of the world. It might seem like it would be glamorous, but in fact, I think it's not. Those dinners are pretty stuffy, conservative, boring, consisting of an endless set of rules about how you can eat. And the royals also have to watch their tongues. They are not allowed to share their views on anything that could possibly be considered political. That's going to include any talks about issues having anything to do with feminism. And I think in the long run, Meghan was bound to crack under the stress of not being able to use her voice in the way that she's used to. I'm sure she was wondering why she has to deal with all these ancient regulations when she doesn't have any real connection with the UK in the first place. What do you think of Meghan Markle's mixed personality and her controversial marriage to Harry? Let us know your thoughts below in the comments section. We hope you have found this video helpful. And don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching our news, and I'll be back to see you in the next videos.